Hey everybody, it's X, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today I'll be playing another early access draft of March of the Machine. So thank you to Wizards of the Coast very much for this early access account and all the cards you see within this event. Without further ado, let's just hop into another draft of the brand new format. Alright, here we are for pack 1, pick 1, and we've got some pretty sweet stuff. Our rare's pretty fun, but I don't think I really want to go for that. It's a very narrow card. You have a 6-mana instant with Convoke that makes your sorceries be instant speed until end of turn, and when you cast your next instant or sorcery, you copy it twice. So it can really pop off with another powerful instant or sorcery, but it seems much more of a constructed focused card than limited. We've got a pretty powerful battle, the Invasion of Zendikar, that's going to ramp us up with 2 basics when it hits the board no matter what, and if we do 3 damage to it, then we get to flip it into a 4/4 elemental with a Vigilance and Haste, which is not too hard to do. There's also Renata, Called to the Hunt, which seems very strong from the Multiverse Legends, making it so every other creature that enters the battlefield under our control comes with a +1/+1 counter, like Renata a ton here. And some really solid uncommons as well. Sculpted Perfection for the Phyrexians deck, and Storm the Seed Core is a good finisher in green, so really nice green stuff overall. I think I'm going to go with the Invasion of Zendikar though, since it's the new card type. It's a lot of fun, and the green-red archetype in this format is focused around like beating down and really crushing these battles. So I'd like to see if we can head in that direction, and we get a really sweet rare to follow up our Invasion of Zendikar, the Ancient Imperiosaur. 7 mana for a 6/6 trample ward 2, and it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it for each creature that convoked it. So this thing can be absolutely massive, especially if you tap some of your creatures to help cast it with its convoke ability. So massive finisher for a green deck. Really happy to have taken the green card out of the first pack, since whoever took a card out of this pack took the Multiverse Legend instead of their green rare or their green card here. So probably going to get hooked up by the drafter to our right, hopefully, but you never know. The Multiverse Legend could have just been a completely busted green mythic rare. There's just a lot of packs in this format that can have multiple rares, so some of the signals can be a little difficult to read early in the draft. Alright, well, I'm really happy to be in this seat. We've now been past Borborygmos and Fibblethip. This is 2 a green, a blue, and a red for a 6/5. When they enter the battlefield or attack, you get to draw a card, then discard any number of lands. And when you discard lands, you deal twice that much damage to target creature. So really fun, really powerful card. Worst case scenario, this is a 5-mana 6/5 that draws you a card when it hits the board and when it attacks. You don't have to discard anything to it if you don't want to. Yeah, and you can even tuck it. You can even use it to protect itself with a 1 and a blue. So, pretty powerful card. And with Invasion of Zendikar, we can pull out an island and a mountain. There's also a few treasure tokens in the format we can use to help splash this in. This just seems like another really fun, big, beefy card to try to ramp into. That's the kind of deck I'd like to play. Alright, pack 1, pick 4. We have an Invasion of Pyrulia. This seems really nice for a deck that has a lot of battles in it, because any battles are double-faced cards. So 2 mana to scry 3, then reveal the top card of our library. If it's a land, we draw it. If it's a battle, we draw it. If it's any other double-faced card, we draw it as well. So 2 mana scry 3, draw a card. Not bad at all, and we can get that relatively often, I think, in green-blue. And if we manage to deal 4 damage to this battle, then we get a nice large 4/4 trample ward too, so seems like a solid card to scoop up here. We could also take the Shivan Branch Runner if we want to go like green-red convoke stuff, since it's another big convoking game ender like the Ancient Imperiosaur. But I think I like the green-blue, transformy, battle-y kind of aspect a little better. Seems a little more interesting, more unique to this format. Pack 1, pick 5 now. There's a Skittering Surveyor that can help us grab a splash color for Borborygmos. So if we primary green and red as our main colors, this can help grab the island for us. It can also help convoke out an Ancient Imperiosaur, which is obviously some value as well. So I like Skittering Surveyor here. Tangled Skyline seems strong as well, but it's kind of a slower late game focused card, and we already have 2 really, really powerful cards for the late game, 4 cards deep. So we're doing really, really good on late game plays with just Imperiosaur and Borborygmos. Don't think I need the really good uncommon one. rather get the mana fixing dork, since we are going to be splashing a third color most likely. We could have also taken Baral from the Multiverse Legends there. That was the 2 mana 1/3 in blue in that pack. Makes all our instants and sorceries cheaper. But it doesn't seem super exciting to me. Here's another Skittering Surveyor, which I think is pretty good for this kind of strategy. I don't think it's going to be nearly as good as it was back in original Dominaria, because a lot of the other commons around it have gotten a lot better. But it's still a flexible little mana fixer that makes sure we keep hitting our land drops. We could alternatively take the Oracle of Tragedy, draw a card, discard a card when it hits the board and when it dies. That's not bad at all. Give us some card selection, but I'll just grab another Surveyor. Tons of ways to draw extra lands. The Invasion tries to scry into a land and draw it. Both Surveyors pull a land directly into our hand. The Invasion of Zendikar puts 2 directly onto the board. We are ramping right here. So for pick 7, we have Chomping Kavu for a 4 mana 4/4 at worst. Also Disturbing Conversion. 2 mana, everyone mills 2. Enchanted creature gets -X for X's number of cards in its controller's graveyard. Seems okay, but not great removal. I think I'd rather just take a 4 mana 4/4 Chomping Kavu dork here. Really looking to try to find some cheap, like 2 mana creatures to help with Convoke and start the curve off, getting some creatures on board to attack these battles the turn we play them. So I would ideally like to have some 2-3 mana creatures that are pretty beefy, pretty good at attacking. Which none of the cards in this pack really fit the bill. There's a 2 mana 1/3 in red. There's a 3 mana 0/5 in green-blue that could be pretty big as the game progresses if we have a lot of transformed permanents, but it's going to be really slow to start it off, just a big blocker. I think I'll still take the Mutagen Connoisseur, so it does make sense for our deck that looks green-blue at its core, but it's not really what I'm looking for or what I'm interested in. It's not a good cheap aggro dork to hit any battles. You take a Thornwood Falls now for some fixing. Fertilid's Favored is weird because it's not the most efficient way to ramp, and it's not the most efficient combat trick. It's this weird mixture of both. I think I'd rather just have a dedicated slot towards ramp and a dedicated slot towards combat tricks and have a better card there. We'll take the Thornwood Falls. Right now this deck is looking glacially slow, but potentially quite powerful in the late game. We don't have good creatures for attacking battles, but we're getting decent creatures for convoking Imperiosaur. Cyber Cryptomancer kind of fits the same bill. It's a decent creature for convoking, but not good at hitting battles. Same with Placid Rottentail. Little cheap dork here. Seems fine. Yeah, either of these seem okay. I think I'm definitely heavier into green. I'll scoop up the green card here. I feel like the small red creatures are probably the best ones at dealing a lot of damage to battles quickly. I'm going to stay focused on green so we can potentially have green-red as the core and blue as the splash still, if that's how things pan out. But there's an Inga Rune Eyes, which is quite a nice value play. Octoprofit at worst, a 4 mana 3/3 that scries 3. At best, if we get some trades going, we can draw some cards when it dies. Take Inga over the Fertilid's Favor or Ren's Resolve there. Nothing much going on here. Take a big Archivist dork. I'm pretty much 100% not playing. Checking on our mana curve now. 2 mana 2/3 Defender. Well, it's on color. Although Searing Barb is potentially playable. I don't really think the 2 mana 2/3 Defender is super playable. Atraxis Fall is primarily sideboard material, but if we don't have a lot of great interaction, it can make the cut, but like just barely. It is technically a way to remove some kinds of permanents from our opponent's board. So what have we opened up here for pack 2? Overgrown Pest is probably the best card for our deck here. 3 mana for a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. We can draw a land or a double-faced card from among them. So pick up a land to help get to our late game creatures, or pick up a double-faced card like a battle for just good value. I think Overgrown Pest looks pretty excellent in this deck, although Threshing Frontliner is exactly the kind of little red dork I wanted to be able to attack into some battles. I think that Pest is just really good on 3 here. So I'll scoop that up. The rare is a very strong black card, but again, it's a black card. I don't really want to switch directions here, at least not in the early access event. I kind of want to just get locked into my archetypes and keep drafting from there and seeing what each archetype can kind of do. So I'll take an Overgrown Pest. There's a Finn the Fangbearer. All right. That's a good 2-drop creature out of green. 2 mana, 1/3 Death Toucher. When it deals combat damage to a player, they get 2 poison counters. Yeah, that'll be one of our very first 2 mana creatures. Just a 2 mana, 1/3 Death Toucher is already an annoying blocker, and it has solid abilities to help it attack in. Oh my god, this Strobe Knight is insane. 3 mana for a 2/2 Flying Vigilance. If you cast 2 spells in one turn, you just tap it to make another 2/2 Knight with Vigilance. That's kind of nuts. I think it's kind of hard for us to double spell, but that might be stronger. It's definitely really good for the blue-white deck because you really care about Knights. That card seems insane. You can have a lot of 1-drops to cast 2 spells in one turn. I'm just going to take the really good 2 mana green dork, though, for this deck in particular. Doesn't look like there's anything to do here. Eyes of Gataxias looks okay. Definitely kind of slow. But it's essentially 5 mana for a 3/3 and draw a card. Because you're going to be making a 3/3 incubator, you just have to spend 2 mana to turn it into a creature. So 5 mana, 3/3 draw a card. Bit slow, but still decent. We could splash in Hidetsugu and Kairi. We have 2 Skittering Surveyors and Invasion of Zendikar. So we could play like 1 mountain, 1 swamp, and play both of these. Might be better than Eyes of Gataxias. Sure, we'll go full splashiness here. Take Hidetsugu and Kairi. Don't really need to read this card much. It's just a 5 mana, 5/4 flying. That's already good. It brainstorms when it hits the board, and when it dies, you get to exile the top card of your library and make your opponent lose life equal to its mana cost. Yorion Sky Nomad. If I play a 60-card deck, I get to have Yorion in the command zone. Alternatively, Zephyr Singer. 4 mana, 3/4 Flying Vigilance that puts a flying counter on each creature that convoked it? And it has Convoke? What on earth? These are so strong. Both of these are so good. I'm going to take the Zephyr Singer, but I'm so excited to draft this format because they put all of the companions in the Multiverse Legends. I'm going to draft this format a lot, and I want to draft at least 1 deck with each companion before I'm done with it because that would be super fun. We're going to go for the new hotness there. We'll take the Zephyr Singer, which does seem quite strong. Now we get another Invasion of Pyrulia. Seems pretty gas. Now that I have Zephyr Singer and a lot of battles and Ancient Imperiosaur, I think I do want to take, even if they don't look that impressive, just cards like Placid Rottentail just give us cheap creatures to convoke with and cheap creatures to hit battles with. So I think we'll take those highly. Take a Jungle Hollow here, and that's a black source that's also a green source. Actually, Invasion of Urgamon seems like a great battle as well. If we make red a more primary color of the deck, because it gives us the treasure token to help splash other battles and stuff. And we just keep slamming into that. I don't know if this makes the cut, but if it does, it's going to be real nice, whereas Jungle Hall would just be okay. So I'll take the Invasion of Urgamon there, potentially try that out. Swiftwater Cliffs looks great. Invasion of Kamigawa. Tap an artifact or creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. So lock something down for a turn. That helps you hit it, which is nice. Also a gigantic card to ramp into. The Copper Host Crusher. Got a lot of ramp. We have Pest, Double Surveyor, Invasion of Zendikar. There's also Sailback. Blow up an artifact or enchantment when it hits the board. This pack is excellent. I think these two are the best, but Swiftwater Cliffs is good too. We're just going to go all battles all day. Grab Invasion of Kamigawa. 5 mana for an Incubate 4. Whenever a permanent you control transforms or a permanent enters the battlefield under your control transformed, you may draw a card. Do this once each turn. Got a lot of double face stuff going on because of all of our battles. So that could be decent. Pretty slow. Probably better than the Island Cycler. Okay, there's another way to splash black in. No good cheap creatures for this deck. Skyline is strong. Again, I've got a lot of good, strong, slow stuff. I'll take a Mana Fixer. Oh wow, we wield the Xerex Strobe Knight. I don't think our deck's very good at using this, but just a 3-mana 2/2 Flying Vigilance is already okay. I don't think we're going to make a lot of Knight tokens, but... yeah, I think that card could be really, really good in the right deck with a really low mana curve. This could just be so explosive. Because you can hit your opponent with this and then make a 2/2 in the same turn, as long as you manage to cast 2 spells in one turn. Got a lot of really good value here. We just need to be able to survive the early turns, and that's going to be a little difficult. Very low on cheap plays. I feel like I've noticed just a distinct lack of decent 1 and 2 mana creatures in this draft pod in green-blue. I don't know if that's just a part of the format in general or just this draft pod. This deck looks really explosive, but very slow. Interested to see how things are going to look for us here. Because again, look at this. We have 4 cards at 2 mana or less, and then we start playing the game. But when we start playing the game, we are playing Magic the Gathering. We are slamming some spells down. Borborygmos and Fibblethip, number 2. I've got no interaction, so I'm probably supposed to take Cosmic Hunger here to actually have some removal, or Tandem Lookout. Both seem great. Oh, the Lookout can shoot battles as well. Yeah, I'll take the... it's not Tandem Lookout, it's Tandem Takedown. The Takedown can shoot battles or creatures, so it can help us flip one of our battles. I'm going to take this Takedown, because I'm so low on removal spells, interaction in general. It would be really funny to have a second Borborygmos, though. Let's grab that Tandem Takedown here. Triple green, that's going to be pretty hard for the potentially 4-color deck to play. Invasion of Rin, another excellent battle. I'd love to take it, but I need more cheap cards to play. This seems like a good one for hitting battles. A 2/2 flyer that comes with a 1/1 to hit things as well. I think I like that a little better than Rotten Tail, even though the Rotten Tail's a 1-mana card. It's also really good with our Convoke cards, because it's 2 creatures off of 1 card. Again, there's excellent late-game stuff like Invasion of Rin and Tangled Skyline, but I need the early creatures here to get my stuff actually going and have some blockers in the early game. Pack 3, pick 3. There's an early creature, just a 2-mana 2/2. Think I have to take it here. Look at this curve. I'll take a 2-mana 2/2 even if it isn't exciting over the really exciting late-game Gigantic Trample Hexproofer. So I want to be able to poke some battles. I want to be able to make some blocks. I want to be able to live in the early game. Take the Iridescent Blade Master. Pack 3, pick 4. Here's a 2-mana 2/1 flyer. That seems like a great way to hit some battles. Nice cheap evasive creature. You can transform it for 4 mana and 2 life, or 5 mana, because we do have green. When we transform it, look at the top. If it's a land, put it into play. Otherwise, draw it. Yeah, that's great. All right, excellent card for the deck. We'll take that. We might even wield a Mutagen Connoisseur. Probably not, but maybe. We're definitely the deck for it. We have a lot of flipping battles and some flipping tokens and flipping creatures. Whoa. We're finding the 2-drops now. I think I take Streetwise Negotiator. Again, because I want creatures that are really good at beating stuff up. I think triple green's a bit hard for Polukranos. And again, I have a lot of 3s, 4s, 5s. Polukranos is really cool, real strong. But I'm splashing 2 other colors. So I'm like a 2 to 4 color deck where triple green on turn 3 is not going to happen that often. Still real big, real strong. But I'm going to take another 2-drop, make sure I have cheap creatures to potentially actually attack battles with. Now we'll take a Placid Rotten Tail for the same reason. Over the Sailback. Or Invasion of Amonkhet. Cryptomancer seems okay, but I'm going to take Rotten Tail over it. I already have 1 Inga Runais. Could splash in a Halo Forge. I'm already splashing in black. Or I could just take another Chomping Kavu. Just take another Chomping Kavu. Should be really easy to cast. So setting our non-creature cards aside, we actually have a real reasonable looking curve now, I think. Like really getting there. We've got enough flip cards that this is going to be a 4-mana 3/2 flyer that draws us a card when it dies. Should have transform permanents a lot. Definitely better than Carapace. Probably better than Kite Sail, although Kite Sail does give us another way to make our creatures able to attack battles better. Give them the evasiveness. Ooh, we wield the Cosmic Hunger? Oh, this hits battles too. Oh my god, that's great. The green removal can shoot battles. That's so good for us. This is really nice. This is very exciting. We have 29 cards right now. This is a deck and a half. We even got the Tangled Skyline back. If I can afford to play more grindier, more expensive cards, yeah, I can probably cut down some 4-drops like these Kavus. Focus up on the 2s and then the 5s. And I get to play the Crusher! I get to play the 8-mana 8/8 Trample Hexproof for another kind of unstoppable win con. Like, our opponent just can't removal spell it, so we'll just attack with an 8/8 Trample. They have to have Death Touch or something to stop it, and even then we trample in for a bunch of damage. We wheel the Mutagen Connoisseur. I should probably take the Thespian for more 1s and 2s. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have that many transform permanents that the Connoisseur is that exciting. I'll take the Thespian. Now we can take an Oracle of Tragedy for another 2-drop. Vatkeeper's solid off the splash. That's a real strong card. Yeah, maybe I should have went for the Splash Vatkeeper there. Again, this is literal day 1, or technically day -6 or something. So my card evaluations and picks are going to change very dramatically when the set fully comes out. But for now, this deck looks real fun. Really, really fun. So we get to cut 9 cards out of here. So battles can be creatures later if I hit them a lot. So put those at the top end of the curve as potentially late game creatures. I don't love these Rotten Tails, but I like having some 1-drops, but now I actually do have a amount of 2-mana things to do. I want to keep all the highest power ones in, I think, to work with our removal spells like Cosmic Hunger and Tandem Takedown, while also being able to just like one-shot an Invasion of Zendikar for the 3 damage that it needs. So these are both basically 3-power creatures for 2 mana. The Streetwise Negotiator plays like a 2-mana 3/3. Thespian obviously a 2-mana 3/1. Blademaster's fine. Finn is a 1-power creature, which I'm not that interested in, but at least Finn's abilities are really good. Aerialist with flying I'm definitely interested in. Then Cryptomancer maybe not, because it's really small. And Oracle of Tragedy maybe not, since it's real small. So if we cut those 4, we still have to cut 5 more cards. With Eyes of Gitaxias, this is basically another 5-mana creature. These are all basically 5-mana creatures. That's a lot of them. I think I like Corruption of Tawashi and Tangled Skyline better than these Eyes. We might just be cutting Eyes in this deck because we have so much potential 5-mana stuff going on. How many double-faced cards do I even have for the Connoisseur? I have the Skyclave Aerialist. I have 2 Incubate tokens right here. And then 4 battles, it's like 7. This Mutagen Connoisseur actually isn't that exciting either. Pest definitely is, because you can just draw lands still. Potentially cutting Inga to just keep all my flyers in instead. Drops us down to 41 cards. This deck probably doesn't need the Black Splash for Hidetsugu and Kairi, because they don't have a ton of good instants and sorceries for it to hit, so it's kind of just a 5-mana 5/4 flyer. Mana base gets really simple without the black, with Double Surveyor and Invasion of Zendikar. Because like I have Copper Host Crusher and Imperiosaur and Borborygmos and Zephyr Singer as bombs, even without black. So we can do something like this. Which feels pretty good. Strobe Knight does make our 1-drops more appealing. Could potentially maybe drop Finn and something else for the Rotten Tails. But I think I have to just accept this as a 2/2 Flying Vigilance for 3. That's just not going to get value that often. Is Oracle of Tragedy better than Finn? Draw a card, discard a card twice really helps us loot through the deck. Probably not. It's kind of close. I think I'm just going to run the deck as is. Not think too hard about it. We're playing on Wizard's Dime. I can go 0-3. It'll all be okay. Whatever happens here, I'm going to have a fun time. I can tell you that for sure. I think I only need 1 mountain. We have 2 Surveyor and Invasion of Zendikar and a mountain for red sources. 4 of them. Yeah, we really only need the 1 mountain. And how's the colors look? 14 green, 10 blue. So we'll up the green count a little bit. And I think we'll call it a deck right there. Alright, here we have a look at the completed deck for today, and it is a sweet one. Looks like a green-blue ramp deck here with a battle sub-theme. So we have a good amount of 2-drop creatures, even though we're trying to ramp into some bigger late-game stuff, because we want to have some cards that will be able to potentially put some pressure on the battles that we're playing, deal a good amount of damage to them. We have cards like Skittering Surveyor and Overgrown Pest that can make sure we keep hitting lands, as well as help us find our red source for one of our splash rares. We have some 3-mana flyers to help hit our battles, and then we start getting to our pretty absurd cards at 4 mana and up. We have the Zephyr Singer, a 4-mana 3/4 Flying Vigilance at worst that can get convoked to get cast for cheaper and put flying counters on our other creatures. We have the Oculus Whelp as a 4-mana 3/2 flyer that will often draw us a card when it dies. If we've flipped a battle or flipped one of our creatures, that'll be the case. And then we get to the big stuff we're ramping into. We have Borborygmos and Fibblethip off of the red splash, a 5-mana 6/5 that draws a card when it hits the board and attacks, and can discard some lands to throw some damage towards some creatures. We have Ancient Imperiosaur as a massive trample ward creature that we can convoke out early, and we have Copper Host Crusher as a gigantic trample hexproofer. We also have Corruption of Tawashi and Tangled Skyline. Both of these are going to be very, very big creatures late in the game. If we can flip those incubator tokens, the Skyline helps us block really well, giving us a gigantic reach creature and gaining a ton of life. And the Corruption of Tawashi can give us a bunch of card draw, allowing us to draw a card when we flip the incubator that it creates, as well as drawing a card every time we flip one of our battles. Speaking of battles, now that we're talking about our technically non-creature cards, we'll get into the battles that we have here. 2 Invasion of Pyrulia count as sorceries that let us scry 3 and then draw a card if we reveal a land or double-faced card on top. In this deck, we want to hit a lot of lands, so we can pretty consistently just make sure there's a land on top of our deck and then scry whatever creature we want into being right below that land card. And obviously, if we deal 4 damage to this, we flip it into a gigantic trample ward creature that gives all of our other transformed cards trample and ward. We have Invasion of Kamigawa, which is a really good battle because the turn we play it, we get to lock down an opposing artifact or creature, making it so that creature can't block, and then that will kind of get the board state open for us to be able to immediately try to flip the Invasion of Kamigawa into that flyer that draws us cards as it chips away at our opponent or at our battles. And then Invasion of Zendikar is very self-explanatory. It's going to be ramped to help us get that Borborygmos or any of our big cards out, and also a battle that we can beat down to get a 4/4 Vigilant Haste creature. We have 2 excellent removal spells in this deck. I wish I had a little more. That's the biggest flaw to the deck, but either of these, if we had 2 or 3 copies of them, we would be living the dream with this strategy, but even with just 1 copy, I think these are both going to play excellently. We have Cosmic Hunger to have a creature we control deal damage equal to its power to any creature, planeswalker, or battle, so it can help flip a battle or clear the path, killing a creature. And then Tandem Takedown is basically 2 copies of Cosmic Hunger in 1. Really, really strong cards here, so super strong looking deck. I'm very excited to see how it does as we head into the gameplay. And here we are for game 1 today. No blue source is kind of a bummer. We do have Blade Master and a takedown to hold up. I think I'll keep the hand, definitely hoping to draw into an island though. Alright, there goes my brush wag rolling right onto the screen. Skyclave Aerialist is the draw. So another blue card. This could be getting a bit awkward, but we'll see how we draw from here. Daxos Blessed by the Sun from the Multiverse Legends. There's our island, and now we're doing great. I think I want to play the Aerialist. That sets up 4 power on our board to potentially play and flip the Invasion of Kamigawa immediately next turn, depending on what our opponent does here. And if we can flip into the Rooftop Saboteurs, we're going to have an excellent time. Because then we can use that to attack the rest of our battles and keep drawing cards while we do it. Please attack, please attack. Aw, alright, they didn't attack, so we definitely can't flip Invasion of Kamigawa the turn we play it, because we can only tap down 1 creature with this. So are we on Invasion of Pyrulia then? Set up our draws and try to get enough mana to go towards the Copper Host Crusher. Could flip the Invader instead. Pay 2 life, flip the Skyclave Aerialist into the Skyclave Invader. Doesn't seem horrible. Since nothing we're doing really impacts the board much anyway. Yeah. Might be kind of exciting. See what's on top. Ah, not a land. If it were a land, it would have been super worth it. This is still fine though, because Surveyor can draw us a land when we play it. Now we've got a pretty chunky blocker to slow our opponent down from hitting us at all. Attentive Skywarden, yeah, 2/2 flyer, not going to play super well against our 2/4 flyer. Okay, we do naturally draw land, so I don't have to play Surveyor right now if I don't want to. What happens if this flips? A 4/4 trample ward 2? It's probably worth taking down the Invasion then, because I can afford to play this and then cast Tandem Takedown to kill it. It gives all of our other transformed cards ward 2 as well, so it'll give this ward 2. So we definitely play it here. God, I could top deck Invasion of Zendikar and draw it immediately. Or I could just draw the mountain immediately. I'd like to have both. Yeah, I'll top deck Invasion and then draw mountain next turn. I probably should have put Surveyor on bottom. But yeah, now I have a pretty wild trick where I can flip the Invasion of Pyrulia and give 2 of my creatures +1 power at instant speed, and then when Invasion of Pyrulia is flipped, it's going to make it so Skyclave Invader has ward 2. Choose a creature or battle from my hand and make me discard it. Okay, so they're going to make me discard the Copper Host Crusher or one of my invasions. It's kind of a bummer, but they can't make me discard Tandem Takedown. They can definitely play around it now, though. Because it's possible that they had a hand where their best play here would be to use a removal spell on the Skyclave Invader. And if I could respond to them trying to removal spell Invader by giving it ward 2 at instant speed, that would be just kind of horrendous for my opponent. Not going to happen though, so we'll just still flip the Invasion during the end step. Wait, what? You can only flip it at sorcery speed? Oh, it's Phyrexian Censor! Oh my god, Phyrexian Censor just destroyed me. No way. Well, yeah, then I could just never flip anything. The only way I can flip things is by regular combat damage. Because if I spend a spell to shoot them, I've already cast 1 non-Phyrexian spell, and then I can't cast the flip side. Wow. Well, that is horrific for me. I guess I lock down the Skywarden and try to hit this one manually. Wow. Alright, well that's a really important interaction to know. That was really bad. All right, I was certain I could flip battles at instant speed, and you can. The problem was Phyrexian Censor being absolutely brutal. Speaking of being absolutely brutal, good old Mind Rot with 2 cards in hand. And now they can immediately flip it as well because Daxos has 4 toughness. Wow. Yeah, we kind of just lost the turn we tried to flip a battle with a Phyrexian Censor on their board. But now we're miles behind. Oh wait, they can't do it either. Oh my god, this Phyrexian Censor is ruining everyone's day so much. Yeah, because they cast the battle this turn, so they cast it, then they hit it to flip it, but they can't cast the flipped side because the Phyrexian Censor. I don't like this card. I don't like that at all. Well, this is really important stuff to know at your pre-release this weekend. That's how things work out here, I guess. No one's having a good time this game. No one ever draft Phyrexian Censor, please. I can't believe... Oh my god, that's so good against battles. I can't believe they would print a card that interacts like that in the first set they ever made battles in. Because there is... I'm telling you right now, there's 100% chance, 100% chance that at least 99% of the pre-releases where Phyrexian Censor is being played, it is not going to be being used correctly with how it interacts with battles. 100%. In Paper Magic, no one's playing Phyrexian Censor correctly. Everyone's going to miss that. My opponent playing the Censor missed that they couldn't flip the battle after I already couldn't flip my own battle. I strongly dislike that. Strongly dislike how that card plays. Not that it's like way too strong or anything. It's just really kind of frustrating. For the first time people can play around with battles, and then this Censor thing just interacts so awkwardly with the mechanic. And so like non-intuitively. We have found my least favorite card in the set, and it is Phyrexian Censor. By a lot. Well, this is the kind of stuff you're going to get during the early access event and during the pre-release event. Everyone is learning the cards. And Phyrexian Censor is being a big meanie butthead that I'm not a fan of. Go ahead and draw a card here and see what I hit before I do anything else. Okay, found a land naturally. Probably Overgrown Pest trying to find another battle. I've got enough blockers now that I'm just going to keep chipping in with flyers and going to town. Ooh, another flyer? I'll actually just play another flyer then. We've got a game plan. Flyers for days. Send in the squad. Is this going to be a board wipe? This might just be a board wipe. I'm not blocking Censor at this point. It's earned its stay on the board. This annoying little dude. Sunfall, alright. Oh wow. Oh my god, is that strong. Exile everything and then make a creature with power toughness equal to the number of creatures exiled. They have an 8/8 now. It's gonna be able to attack immediately because it's already on the board. So next turn they can just spend 2 and flip it and hit me for 8. Alright, that's terrifying. Let's play Surveyor to make there 1 less land in our deck before I play the Overgrown Pest. So we're less likely to top deck another land, and then we'll play the Pest. Hoping to find a double-faced card. We did not. Alright, we'll just play another land then. Drop the Thespian, Surveil 1, look for something. Alright, there we go. Ancient Imperiosaur can be bigger than that 8/8. And be hard to kill with its ward ability. This is wild. This has been just a ridiculously weird and wild game of Magic. So our opponent has 3 mana they can do whatever they want with. If they have another land in their hand, then they can do anything for 4 mana. They just need to make sure to have 2 mana to make their 8/8. No, they're just going to play a Boombringer Valkyrie instead. Fair enough. I mean, a 5/5 flying first strike lifelink is pretty good. So let's just convoke out the Imperiosaur, make it as big as possible. Because I can't attack in his Valkyrie anyway. So just a casual 12/12, trample ward 2. Just some bread and butter, commons and uncommons limited going on in this set. Don't worry about it. Everyone's just casting reasonable, average, regular draft cards. Realm Breaker's Grasp. Well, that's a bummer. Will I find my Cosmic Grasp for the Boombringer? No, but I found a Zephyr Singer. Give everybody flying. Can't give everyone flying. Give most of them flying. Then I immediately have to chump block this Incubator. Because I have to chump block the Incubator next turn, I think I hold up the Thespian, chump block with the card that can Surveil. And now I have some flying chump blockers for the Valkyrie as well later. Well, there's a lot of flyers to flip any battles I managed to draw into. So here's the 8/8 Incubator. Failed conversion to kill the Zephyr Singer. And they're going to Surveil a Plains and a 2/2 into their graveyard. We 100% have to chump block, so we will Surveil as well. Finn the Fangbearer. I mean, it kills the 8/8, but I'm still dying in the sky. I guess I do keep it, because I have to find a way to kill the 8/8 and the 5/5 flyer at this rate. Sick removal from our opponent. Going to put us in an insurmountable hole that we can't get out of. Find an island. Very dead. 0-1 to start off, but that was a completely wild game of Magic where we learned some crazy things about some card interactions with battles and the Phyrexian Censor and all of that stuff. So, may have been a loss, but a pretty crazy one. Learned a lot of stuff for sure. We are 1 loss down. We're 0-1 heading into game 2. Alright. Opponent on the play. Definitely keeping here. We have a Preening Champion to get there in the sky and a Tandem Takedown to aim at our battles as well. Double Invasion of Pyrulia. Let's just play every battle in our deck this game. Let's go. Oh, hi, Ancient Imperiosaur. I would like to draw you, but I think I'll draw you later. Be my 4th land here. Grab the 5th off Invasion. I think I'll draw this right now, then I'll draw Imperiosaur naturally, then I cast an Invasion again next turn to scry more if I need more lands. I guess I have the 4-mana Invasion to grab 2 more lands. Yeah, I don't think I need to draw another land naturally. I pull out 1 Invasion of Pyrulia land here. I think the curve is going to be Preening Champion into Invasion of Zendikar. So here's our Preening Champion to stop them from trying to flip a battle. We can just trade evenly on board. Well, let me see what kind of disgusting combat tricks exist in this format. Nothing. Even trade. Even Steven. It's Invasion of Zendikar now. Now we're going to have 3 green, 3 blue, and 1 red. There's Unseal the Necropolis. Mill 3, pick up a creature, pick up 2 creatures from their grave. They got a Yargle and Multani, the 18/6, and Preening Champion. There's Oracle of Tragedy from our opponent to set up some card draw and discard. And another Preening Champion. It's going to be the saddest Imperiosaur ever, because I have no creatures to convoke it. And they've got the removal for it. Skittering Surveyor is the draw here. Let's dig for something with Invasion of Pyrulia. None of these are great here. I'm just gonna dump it all in the... I'm just gonna dump all of it on the bottom. Top card is Cosmic Hunger now. Don't really accomplish anything with Invasion of Kamigawa, and if I Skittering Surveyor... Oh, I guess I could choose not to search with Skittering Surveyor. I should have played it to block the 1/1 Elemental. And here's the 18/6. And an Ichor Drinker. Well, let's lock down the 18/6. And I have a Cosmic Hunger for 1. Is not enough to do anything. Yeah, I guess drawing like 4 battles is pretty bad. You have to draw a lot more creatures than battles. It's not a great draw sequencing-wise. Could have kept around my Preening Champion, just didn't go for the block there, and then maybe we would have flipped one of these battles and gone from there. Ooh. Borborygmos and Fibblethip. Please no counterspell. No counterspell. It's 2 mana to put them back on top of our library. Discard a land, I get to do 2 damage, so I get to kill the Preening Champion. Oh my god, Borborygmos and Fibblethip. Absolute bomb rare draw, let's go. I can Cosmic Hunger still hold up Borborygmos and Fibblethip's ability to go back into our library. Get a 2/3 or a 4/4 Vigilance Haste or a 4/4 Trample Ward 2 with Cosmic Hunger. I think it's going to be better to just shoot Yargle and Multani with Cosmic Hunger than to get any of those creatures. Going to combat, declaring the attack with Yargle Multani. It kind of sucks that Cosmic Hunger is revealed, because now if they had an instant speed removal spell, then they can just wait and then do this, and then instant speed removal in response to me trying to Cosmic Hunger. Kind of blows me out, but I can't do anything about it. Because even if I block and then Cosmic Hunger, they still instant speed removal ruin my day. I guess I could just block and not Cosmic Hunger, but that's not going to lead to a winning board state. Alright, no instant speed removal. And I did that pre-block so I could still block with Surveyor if they did something in response. Astral Wingspan. Give something +2/+2 flying, draw a card. Sure. pretty good. A 3/3 flying lifelinker right now. Ooh, Skyclave Aerialist. 2 mana to play it, 4 mana to flip it, and I'm still holding up Tandem Takedown. Pay the 2 life, go to 9 here. See what we have on top of our library. Power 3 or less, I can't make it have more power with Tandem Takedown. Yep, none of these save it either. Well... none of these creatures have reach, so I'm gonna have to Tandem Takedown the Ichor Drinker. That is a nightmare. Guess I block the other 2 creatures well, so I can try to flip an invasion here. Okay, so we kill the Oracle of Tragedy. We're going to take down the Ichor Drinker to get rid of their Flyer and their Lifelinker. We still have all these battles to potentially flip in the future. See if this resolves. Does resolve. Halo Forager. Wow, they just get to recast a removal spell from their grave now. Yep. Borborygmos and Fibblethip are dead, and I top deck a land. Force them to lose Halo Forager this turn, I guess. Or just chump with a 1/1. Invoke removal at instant speed. Skyline's a huge top deck. Gain 5 life, get a 5/5 reach against their 3/1 flyer. Not attacking with Negotiator, it'll just trade into their 2/2. Completed Huntmaster, that's a very good top deck for them now. They can turn their 1/1 into a 3/3, they can turn their treasure token into a 3/3. All that kind of stuff. Gonna flip this right now. So I have all my mana next turn for the Copper Host Crusher. What do I trade into if I attack in? 3/1 and a 2/2? That's fine. This is a Phyrexian Bear Rhino. Alright, kill a 3/1 and a 2/2. And then just slam down an 8/8 trample hexproof. And I should have a really hard time killing that, or finding blocks that don't let us just flip a battle anyway. And now we just start flipping all the battles one by one. Huntmaster can incubate 3, they block with 4 toughness total, so I can flip any of the 4s. Yeah, Copper Host Crusher should be phenomenal here. Keep flipping whatever battles I want. Or I could just hit them in the face, but I think I need to get more creatures down here. Now they've got another 3/3, so they have 3, 4, 6, 7 toughness total. Send in with the 3/3, I'll take it. Finn the Fangbearer is the draw. Vigilance does feel really good here, so I'm going to go for that. You know, I do draw cards from Saboteur even if I hit a battle, so maybe it would have been better to send that at one of the 4s, because I could kill it in 2 hits of Saboteurs, instead of just starting to chip a little bit at their life total. There's so much to think about in this format. Alright, still miles ahead. Couple of removal spells there. Wary Thespian is the draw. Ooh, Zephyr Singer. I don't think I actually want to convoke that too much. I like having blockers. I think I'll convoke with the Streetwise Negotiator though, because that's not going to block super well, but the 4/4 and the 3/1 will. Tenured Oilcaster, 5/4 Menace. That's pretty big. I only have 6 cards left in my deck. Watch as I just mill out now. Two blockers up. I have to lose some creatures here to not die. Actually 3 blockers up because I'm flipping the invasion. Well, they don't have to lose some creatures to not die. Alright, well. Still 4 blockers up. I forgot that the Zephyr Singer has Vigilance too. Skittering Surveyor. I think I just make them show me a fog. Yeah, if they have a fog, I'll let them win. You have a fog, you got it. No fog. That is going to be lethal. Really long fought game there. The battle's just sitting around doing nothing for us much early game. Was a huge bummer, but then like... whew, that Crusher was such a good draw. They just can't kill it because it's got that hexproof, and an 8/8 trample is like guaranteed to just start flipping them all. And we just start getting a ton of creatures. We are 1-1. That was only 2 games in. Some long games in this format. Definitely something different than we've seen lately with Phyrexial Will Be Won. I'm already kind of a fan of how this is playing out. In that it doesn't feel like it's going to be just a hyper aggro format every game. It does still feel pretty bomby though. I'll keep this hand. If I draw any land, I Skittering Surveyor into what I need. Opponent is on the mulligan to 4. We've drawn the blue source to play the Skyclave Aerialist turn 2, which is great. god, I forgot Borborygmos and Fibblethip are only 5 mana. Probably just head towards that. There's Overgrown Pest. It is going to be the mirror match. Skittering Surveyor. I've already got double green. Get another blue, because I've got triple green here. Depends on what we draw next turn, but I might just flip the Aerialist. If I hit a 2-drop, I'll I'll cast the Invasion of Pyrulia instead. Invasion of Kamigawa, lock down the Skittering Surveyor, poke it for 2 with the Pest. Zephyr Singer is the draw. That I think I will just cast. Alright, bounce the Zephyr Singer back to our hand, Surveil 2. They will be flipping that invasion, but then we can just kill the creature that it got. With our Borborygmos and Fibblethip. I guess I have to draw land to kill it. It's 3 toughness. Yes, it is. And we drew a land, alright, so we can just discard 2 lands and kill that. Draw, discard, submit 2. Boot the Saboteurs. Poke for 3. Iridescent Blade Master. There's our 6th land. I think I'd rather keep it in hand to discard. Let's just attack with everybody first. Well, not everybody. Kill the creature that can get bigger. Make it a 4/3 till end of turn, draw a card. Shut that off. It shuts off their card draw and their ability to double block trade into Borborygmos. Chomping Kavu. Invasion of Kamigawa can tap it down, deal 6, 7, 8, 9. Gotta deal 1 more damage on top of playing this. Don't actually know how I do that. I guess I can Invasion of Pyrulia to try to kill that. Draw another land here. None of those are lands. And there's the land. So now I know I have 2 lands to kill the Kavu. 6, 7, 8, 9. Still not quite lethal, so I guess I'll hit the invasion. Okay, we would have had lethal if I went a little greedy there. And just assumed that I would top deck another land. Because then I could have played a land in Invasion of Kamigawa. Or no, because Borborygmos can't shoot their face. Either way here, we're just miles ahead, so we're just wrapping it up. There's Invasion of Vryn. They can play a 1-mana card. But yeah, this game was just the Multi 4 from our opponent, pretty much, sealing it for them. And that'll put us up to 2-1 now. Here we are on the play for Game 4 with a super keepable hand. Turn 2 Invasion of Pyrulia into turn 3 Preening Champion. Tons of creatures to play into this Ancient Imperiosaur late game. That should be quite helpful. So now I'm going to have 4 mana. I can use the Pest to find the 5th. Do I keep an 8-drop? Probably not, but I do think I keep the invasion. Alright, not super worried about the Order of the Mirror. I think I will drop the Preening Champion first so we have a shot at hitting the Invasion of Pyrulia. I don't need to play Overgrown Pest until a turn where I don't have a land drop in hand. Marshal of Zalfir buffs all of their knights. Buff up the Order of the Mirror. I'll take that 3 damage then. Hit a land here. Pest gives us another creature to convoke the Imperiosaur with, and I don't really need to Invasion of Kamigawa to hit this Invasion of Pyrulia right now. I guess if I Invasion of Kamigawa, I can start hitting this instead of that. The tap ability is pretty solid on this Marshal though, so being able to lock that down might be fine. I think I'm going to Overgrown Pest here and see what we get. Find the red source. Alright. Poke that invasion so that it's at 2 defense now. I'll take my 3 damage from Order of the Mirror again to leave as many creatures on board to potentially attack the invasion as well as potentially convoke the Imperiosaur here. So I can convoke the Imperiosaur with just 2 creatures, so I think I'll do it with Pest and the Elemental, and I'll just make sure to flip the invasion right now. I guess I could convoke it with 3 creatures if I want to make it a little bigger, but I think I'd rather hold another blocker up. We'll just convoke with the smaller creatures. A 10/10 seems more than large enough to matter at 5 mana. This format's insane. Look at this board state is ridiculous. And there's a Kite Sail from our opponent. Start making some of their creatures flying to jam into us. Is this a Phyrexian dinosaur? No. Poor Berigmos and Fibblethip's the draw. I can just discard 1 card and kill the Marshal of Zalfir now. Yeah, don't mind if I do then. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. I think I will attack with the champion here. I'm fairly certain I can outrace them. Put them to 4 life and pass the turn. Invasion of Kamigawa. Another Marshal of Zalfir, nice, so they got the double up there. Alright, yeah, they scooped them up there. I was gonna say, I think I could just block the 3/5, take the 4, and then kill them on the crackback, and apparently that is the case, because they are gonna scoop them up. We are now 3-1 with this deck as we head into round number 5. Alright, we're a mono green deck in round 5, but I'll keep it. We've got that Imperiosaur to try to convoke into, and then a Copper Host Crusher later, after the Imperiosaur inevitably dies to removal. Opponent mulligans down to 5, another Pretty unlucky start for our opponent this game. That being said, our hand isn't that aggressive, so there are still some 5-card hands that could certainly beat us, especially one with a 2-mana 2/2 flyer that can keep coming back from the graveyard if they deal damage with their instants and sorceries. And we've hit exclusively lands so far, looking for a creature ideally. Alright, Invasion of Pyruli is not bad. Gift of Completion. Very, very nice card, especially when they're mana screwed, because they can play it for 2 and then flip the creature for 2 next turn. Let's Invasion of Pyruli and see what we hit. Oh, none of these are land. Oh, we can take the Skyclave Varialist though, because that's a double-faced card. And I want to keep the other 2. I think I'd rather draw the champion first, honestly, to go with Imperiosaur. So draw the Aerialist, play that this turn, hit Invasion for 2. So Invasion of Pyruli is 1 hit away from flipping. They're going to Furnace Rains the Skyclave Aerialist. I don't think they have a way to sacrifice it, at least. Yeah, they're just going to get a treasure off of us. Okay, now we know we can flip Invasion of Pyrulia. A Preening Champion here. Let me check how many creatures I'm going to have. I'm going to have 4 creatures on board. Not enough to flip Imperiosaur, even if I hold them all up, so we'll hit with everybody. Play our Ancient Imperiosaur next turn. Hopefully they don't have another copy of Furnace Rains, because that would be a way. That would definitely be a way for them to win this game. If they can just hit us with our own gigantic Imperiosaur. Alright, they're going to transform their 3/3. And they have a 2/2 flyer they can trade into our 2/2 flyer. They could hit this invasion. Alright, we draw the Cosmic Hunger. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can convoke 4 times. I'm just gonna do it. I don't even care if it's the right thing, because it's the fun thing. Biggest Imperiosaur ever, and I'm holding up Cosmic Hunger and Tandem Takedown. Redcap Heel Slasher gives something first strike and a counter here. Alright, sure. Hit the invasion for 3, or they poke us for 3. I think I'll use removal if they poke us for 3. If they hit the invasion, then that's whatever. Yeah, because it's not dead yet. And they're incredibly dead on board. Right? They have 1 blocker. I trample over for 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 damage on board. Yeah, they're already dead. I don't need to play anything else. Just slam dunk Ancient Imperiosaur. Let's go. And boom, we are now going to be 4-1 as we head into round number 6. The bombs do be exploding. Alright, we've got turn 2 Wary Thespian, turn 3 Skittering Surveyor, we've got a Zephyr Singer after that. Pretty gross stuff here. Oh, I could even play Strobe Knight. With Zephyr Singer, I can actually double spell a lot easier than usual, because Convoke is a really easy way to cast 2 spells in 1 turn. So let's Surveil 1. I do want more lands. I've got a great 5-drop in this hand. I think I'm going to play Strobe Knight first, and then try to play Skittering Surveyor. Wow, this sucks. I don't want to have to trade here because I want to Convoke. But I guess I have to trade here. Never mind. Strobe Knight chicanery will not happen as easily. Yeah, because I'm not going to have enough creatures to play Surveyor and Singer in the same turn on turn 4. But I guess I could only do that if I tapped Strobe Knight last game anyway. I think I can let them hit this invasion for 2. Let's just make sure I have double blue for Zephyr Singer without having to play Strobe Knight to do that. And then I can just have a 3/4 to block their 2/2. Renata. It's a 2/3 right now, but if they play another green creature, it's going to be worse for me. Yeah, I don't actually want to block with Surveyor. I should have played Negotiator. I should have waited till I drew my card before I put Zephyr Singer on the stack. Yeah, we could have went Negotiator and still played Zephyr Singer by tapping the Negotiator. Phyrexian Awakening. Our opponent's going to incubate 4. They can turn that into a big 4/4 Phyrexian Dork. And all the Phyrexians have Vigilance. Alright. They don't have Reach, at least. So I can poke with my Vigilant threat. Not really going to have good blockers for this Incubator. I guess I could Negotiator a counter on the Surveyor, then I have a 2/3 and a 2/2. That's not enough. A 3/3 and a 1/2 is also... Oh no, it is a 4/4. So a 3/3 and a 1/2 can block it, they only kill the 3/3, or a 2/3 and a 2/2 block it, and they only kill the 2/3? I think I go 2/3 and 2/2. Then, I guess I'll be mana efficient and I'll play the Strobe Knight as well, although I'm not excited about it, because it's going to be harder to double spell, since I just played the 2 cheapest cards in my hand. Botanical Brawler. Whenever any +1/+1 counters are placed on their permanents, we get to put a counter on the Botanical Brawler as well. That's pretty spooky. That definitely works with Incubator tokens every time they create one. And with Renata's ability, whenever any creature enters the battlefield under their control. Wait, I'm confused. Enters with 2 +1/+1 counters, so it should just straight up already be... Does it start as a 0/0? Oh, okay, yeah, it starts as a 0/0. I get it now. I thought it was a 1/1 with 2 counters on it. That's what confused me there. It's a 0/0 with 3. And say I thought they missed a counter with Renata somehow, but they did not. Magic Arena is functioning as intended. Alright. Well, we make the block I said we'd make. And we kill our 2/3, so our 2/3 trades up into a 4/4. Let's go. That's what we call value. Sunder the Gateway for a 2/2. I cannot play 2 spells. They have no reach creatures. That's good for me. I'm not going to have great blockers, whatever I do. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do I just make sure I have 8 power in the sky, or do I play the Skyline? Threatening bigger plays next turn. 5 power in the sky kills them in 3 attacks, 8 kills them in 2. I'm just going to get aggressive. I'll play the Oculus Whelp. Yeah, if they can't interact in the sky, then it's kind of okay if they can just flip the invasion. Although that Botanical Brawler is getting very big, that's an issue. Alright, yeah, flip your invasion. I'll just attack you twice and try to win the game that way. Tandem takedown. That's a sweet, sweet one here. Is it better to hold that up than it is to play Skyline? Probably not. I probably do play Skyline, but then I can just use this to find lethal, even if they play a reach blocker. I think that's what we do. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Not even lethal on board. But I can stop 4 of it to be safe without losing any of my flyers. And they're going to scoop them up. The flyers are just going to get there. So pretty classic bread and butter limited there. Just play a bunch of flyers and poke with them. And that is going to put us now to our 5th victory, I think. I think we're 5-1 heading into round 7. Excellent, excellent stuff from this deck. Here we are on the play for round number 7 with a pretty great keep. I need to hit 1 land, but then Skittering Surveyor can get me very far. Plus, I just have pretty much all 3 drops, so any 1 land and I can cast everything but Borborygmos. Alright, and we hit our land, which means we get to Surveyor for the mountain, and then we're just 1 land drop away from casting the literal entire hand. Dreg Recycler. Did hit a land naturally, so I have my 4th land already, so I might be more interested in curving out with another creature than playing Surveyor right now. That way I can just get in extra damage. Yeah, and I think I'll go for the Strobe Knight, so that if I hit some cheap cards, I might be able to double spell later. Say I draw a 2 mana card, I can then go Champion next turn into Surveyor and the 2 mana card the turn after that. Get my double spell value off of the Strobe Knight. Definitely no blocks there. And there's a 2-drop, so I think we are going to go Champion, then Surveyor, Aerialist next turn. Play my land first so I could buff the Blade Master if something really weird happens. If they kill the Strobe Knight, then I'll just play Skittering Surveyor and get the red source for Borborygmos. Play Borborygmos next turn instead of trying to double spell, because if I don't have my great little value engine for casting 2 spells in 1 turn, then might as well just cast my 1 very big powerful spell. So far, it's still on board, so I am going to play the Preening Champion and hope that it remains till the turn after this. Alright, they're going to bounce it back to my hand. That's pretty awkward, but at least we got our damage out of it. If I don't top deck a land, I'll play Surveyor Aerialist. If I do top deck a land, we'll play Aerialist and Strobe Knight, I think. Although the red source for Borborygmos might be valuable enough to just play Surveyor over the Strobe Knight no matter what. If I top deck a mountain, I guess, then I don't have to play Surveyor. But that's very unlikely. We've got 1 in the deck. So there's an Inga Rune Eyes from our opponent to scry 3. And we did not hit a mountain, so we will Surveyor for the mountain and play an Aerialist this turn. Locking in Borborygmos and Fibblethip for next turn. And that would have been our beautiful double spell to get a creature off of Strobe Knight if they didn't put it back in our hand there. Invoke out a Thunderhead Squadron, a big old 3/4 flyer. I can tandem takedown to kill that. Can I actually just lethal if I tandem takedown? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can put them to 2? That kind of feels like the play. Just put them to 2 life. They do have the recycler to potentially gain a life. But they need to be able to block pretty much all my 2 power creatures to survive. If they can't deal with one of my flyers, then even if they sacrifice a creature to gain a life, they're just dead. Because they can gain up to 3 life, but then I hit them for 4. So draw a card, discard off of the Oracle of Tragedy. They can do it again when it dies, so they could sacrifice that if they want, if they're just desperately digging for removal. But that would put them at 1 blocker on the ground, because the recycler would be tapped. Alright, they're going to hold everything untapped here. I guess we just try to kill them in the sky and then play Borborygmos and Fibblethip post-combat. If I attack with everybody, they just go block, block, block on the ground. There's no point in sending the ground troops in. I'm guessing this is a removal spell for one of them and then sack a creature to go to 1 instead of 0. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I guess if I Borborygmos and Fibblethip pre-combat and I hit a land, I could have killed Recycler pre-combat, which would force them to use it immediately and reduce 2 blockers. Or not be able to lose it and die in the sky. Or not be able to use it and die in the sky. So could have went for the just hope for the best risk-reward line there. Pre-combat Borborygmos, just be like, well, if we hit a land, we probably immediately win. Yeah, I mean, I think I am still just going to play Borborygmos and Fibblethip, so I think I should have pre-combated them. Yeah, because we would have just killed the Recycler. And they would have had to use it pre-combat, which would have gave them not enough blockers to block everything on the ground. Or they would have had to not use it, in which case they die in the sky. So should have pre-combated Borborygmos and Fibblethip, but either way, some really explosive, really disgusting things happen from our deck. Again, bombs everywhere. We are 6-1 now, heading into the final boss in this early access draft. And here we are on the play for the final boss. I don't think this is keepable with 2 removal spells that need a creature on board and no creature till after turn 5. Like, not even turn 5, but turn 6, because we have to flip it as well. I think I have to mulligan that. This is much more keepable. I already have Borborygmos to try to win the game, so I'm not going to keep the 8 mana Hexproofer in this hand as well. We have Invasion of Pyrulia to dig 3 cards deep and Overgrown Pest to dig as well to find the mountain, and we find it immediately. That's beautiful. We're going to go Mountain Pest next turn. Don't think I need this Thornwood Falls. Tandem Takedown's fine here. Helps us flip Invasion of Pyrulia or deal with an opposing threat later. So I'll keep that. And see what we draw off of the Overgrown Pest. Again, I already have enough mana for everything, so if I find a double-faced card, I'll take it, but we don't find a double-faced card. So we'll just grab the extra land. There's a War Historian from our opponent. So I could Tandem Takedown to blow up the Historian and hit Invasion of Pyrulia for 3, putting it to 1. That would be kind of exciting. I think Skittering Surveyor is probably just better, though, because it leads into a really powerful Tandem Takedown in the future, plus makes sure we have a million lands in our hand for Borborygmos and Fibblethip to blow up whatever we want when we play them. Alright, we're gonna have 2 lands in hand, guaranteed. And if I draw a 3rd land, then I can do that. But I only need 2 lands to kill a 4/4, so we'll probably do that. So I can't block Chomping Kavu at all. And I could kill Kavu and hit Invasion here. So yeah, we'll do that. I guess I could block Kavu with the Borborygmos. But I think I'd rather kill the creature that's potentially hard to block than the reach one. Plus, it'll get something out of the way to let me hit Invasion this turn. Yeah, we'll put Invasion down to 1. Invasion of Pyrulia. I should specify every time, because every battle in this set is called an invasion. Alright. War Historian has worked its way up all the way to 5/5 stats, but I've got a Tandem Takedown to say hello to that card. Make them have a removal spell to kill one of these to stop Takedown from working. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. They have to be able to removal spell one of these little creatures to stop this. So I think this is better than using it on Borborygmos, because then they already want to use a removal spell on Borborygmos. And it looks like they have a Cryptomancer to just give it another counter and hexproof. This War Historian's getting pretty terrifying, if I'm being honest. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. It has reach as well. I guess I could just trade Borborygmos and Fibblethip into it, because they've still gotten good value already. If I draw another land, I think I'm okay to trade Borborygmos and Fibblethip into them, because I get to kill another one of their creatures and then trade in. Didn't draw another land. Another land would be blowing up the 2/1 Death Toucher and then trading into War Historian, which gives us a good lead on the board state. I think instead, do I just tap out for this Aerialist and pass? Probably so. Yeah. Another non-land. Oh, hey, Ancient Imperiosaur. Oh my god, we drew our own. That's so funny. Oh my god. I mean... yeah. We do that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, cross our fingers and hope for no removal or counterspell. Woo! 2020. Yeah! We did it! A 2020 Ancient Imperiosaur. Our opponent's definitely going to just removal spell our Imperiosaur and kill us for doing that, but it was worth it. It was so worth it. How often do you get to play a 2020 Ancient Imperiosaur? No! Yeah, we're dead. Alright, we were not winning this game regardless. Because they still get to attack with Imperiosaur and have Tandem Takedown at instant speed. Yeah, Tandem Takedown was going to ruin our day. 6-2 it is. We got 1 game to go, 1 more chance at the final boss. So we'll see how it all ends as we head into the final game of Magic for the day, win or lose. Alright, here we are for the final game of Magic. We have Invasion of Pyrulia into Skittering Surveyor, into Borborygmos and Fibblethip again. So we know the game plan. We've done it before and we'll do it again. Alright, get our Invasion of Pyrulia down. There's some lands. I want all the lands. I don't really want the 2-drop. So we draw that land right now. We draw the next land naturally. And then we Surveyor for the mountain, and that is the 5 mana we need for Borborygmos to happen. Here's our nice little Skittering Surveyor, our best friend in the world in this deck. This card is played really, really well in this deck because it hits our Splash Bomb, it hits more mana for all of our really expensive stuff, and it convokes. So Skittering Surveyor has been better than I thought it would be here, and I already loved it a lot in original Dominaria, but I thought it would be significantly weaker in this format because there's a lot of like real strong commons to compete with it, but it still feels pretty good in the right archetype. I guess in Dominaria it could fit in basically any deck and be good, but I think we just have a deck where Surveyor is still pretty good in this format. It's not going to be an every deck kind of thing. Oh wow, this card's kind of disgusting. I didn't realize that interaction. Crew 1 hit and then still use the mana? Yeah, because of the vigilance. Okay. Oh dear, what am I doing? I don't think I'm tandem takedowning. I guess I could just Invasion of Kamigawa to slow them down. Lock down their only actual blocker here. Yeah, I'm not going to tandem takedown, so this is awkward. The low value Invasion of Kamigawa. Invasion of Urgamon. They get a treasure token, they can discard a card and draw a card, and they can start hitting that pretty hard with Flywheel Racer. They can discard their 4/5 and draw a card. Harried Artisan, haste creature. Well, I guess Invasion's immediately flipped, and that probably does us in there. They get a 3/4, lets them discard a card, search for a land or battle, put it into their hand immediately. Yeah, battles are a pretty snowbally mechanic. Feels like once you flip one, you kind of just get miles ahead. That is certainly what's happening right now. I don't think a Borborygmos is going to be nearly enough to flip this game around. I don't even have another land to go with the Borborygmos to guarantee that it kills anything. So I guess I'm just going to go Blade Master, hold up Tandem Takedown, and I can take down one of my invasions at instant speed to have a blocker flip into play here, while also buffing up my blockers to deal more damage. So Blade Master will block with 3 power, Surveyor will block with 2, Invasion of Pyrulia is going to be flipped into another 4/4 blocker that they weren't expecting. Yeah, I feel like going for the Tandem Takedown is going to be stronger than just running out the Borborygmos right now. Although I am about to take 4 to the face, so I'm going to be pretty far behind. Life total wise too. I guess that might get them to just send all their damage at the battle instead of attacking me. We'll see what happens here. But I'm going to assume this Tandem Takedown is probably going to be pretty good. Unless they have instant speed burn in response. This takedown should be quite nice for us. Crew the Flywheel Racer. And drop the Invasion of Regatha. Four to us, 1 to the Blade Master. Transform the Artisan. It's a 3/4 flyer now. I don't have to take down the flyer. them flip this invasion. What do they get? A 4/4 prowess. When non-creature sources deal damage, they do 2 more. Guess we let them flip that. They don't get any damage in that way. And then it can kill Cliff Charger without losing their creature. Yeah. Oops. Oh my god, that's not... Oh my god, that's not what I meant to do! Brain fart, I hate you! Literally meant to hit the invasion. I mean, I'm good to just end it there then. Oh, I shortcutted to clicking on that because I was going to declare a block there, but I didn't shoot the battle and click on my creature to declare that block. That's so irritating. That game still had some legs to it if I didn't just brain fart and click the wrong button, but that's life. Well, bummer way to end it, but it was a really fun, really powerful deck. We can take another look at it, but it was basically just a collection of bombs like this format seems like it is so far. Borborygmos being the best one, but all these battles, being able to try this new mechanic out so much was pretty fun as well. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons very much for supporting the channel, and thank you for watching. If you're interested in seeing some more videos like this, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you more of these videos in your recommended feed. You can also check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below, or the Patreon channel in the link in the description below. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.